How are y'all? Good. First of all, just you know, it was it's a difficult week. It was a long week, but I'm very thankful for our players, for our staff, the way they came together, the way they worked. We had a very productive week of practice, and I thought that really showed itself Saturday. I thought our guys played with a lot of passion, a lot of emotion. I thought we flew around defensively to the football. I thought we executed well offensively, uh, got more balance in what we wanted to do. I thought we were efficient in that way. And so I'm very thankful and I'm very proud of those guys, all of them in that locker room, all of those guys on the coaching staff through a tough week. Um, Thought number one, our fans were great. They came out, they supported. I asked them, please come and support and show that passion that you have for this university, for the football team. I thought our guys fed off of that, so I'm very thankful for them for coming out and doing that. We're gonna need you to continue to do that throughout the year. As we look forward, obviously we're on the road this week. We've got a tough test, starting conference play right here. I know we got to get back to work. For us, it's all about putting our focus on ourselves, continuing to grow, continue to get better. We got to have a great week of work. I'm excited to get on the practice field with them today, and looking forward to our meetings. We got to have exceptional meetings. We got to have a great practice tempo, and we got to be locked in because we know NC State is a very, very talented team, and they've got a lot of weapons. We got to do a good job defensively of eliminating some of their explosive plays, and then offensively, we got to sustain drives. We got to go get touchdowns, find some explosive plays on our side of it, give our guys an opportunity to go do that, and looking forward to the opportunity to go play.
All right, questions. We'll start with Damien.
Have you assessed, how you're handling the transfer portal guys who want to enter yet? Have you had what are those conversations still going like after you've gone through 4 games now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking to guys. Guys are talking to us. We're having those conversations. As we continue to work our way through them, we'll release how that kind of plays itself out and what guys are thinking and moving on. But until that point, we're kind of continuing to mold as a team and continuing to move forward.
I know it's one day into the second week here. Does it feel any more normal or settled or stable than this time last week?
Yeah, I mean, normal or settled, probably not yet, but I think we're moving in the right direction. I think we're taking steps forward. Obviously, I feel better today than I did last week standing at this podium with everything that's going on. But that being said, having a week under our belt, all of us adjusting, there's still a lot of variables at play, but overall, we've got to get back to some type of normal routine, and I think that's what our guys are trying to do.
In the game notes this week, there's no depth chart. I don't know is that intentional on your part? Is that just speak to the?
Honestly, it's we're just working through things, and so we'll release one at towards the end of the week. Obviously, with the new ACC rules, we start releasing all the injury reports throughout the week, and so right now we're working through the process, continuing to evaluate things and making adjustments as we go.
The players aren't the only ones facing uncertainty in these times.
You're correct, Dave.
Yes, but for the staff and their families, what is your counsel to them as you lead this program?
I think more than anything else, our staff, we have a great staff. We got a great group of men that are passionate about football, passionate about help developing and growing young men, and they're locked into that part of it. Obviously, the uncertainty of what the future holds is part of that, but the one thing that I told them and we've expressed to each other is, we all got in this business for the love of the game, but also more importantly for helping develop and grow young men. And we still have that opportunity in front of us. As we step out onto the field, we all get to go compete. We all get to work together, and right now we need each other more than ever. So let's lean on each other. We're going to have good days and bad days, but try to do our best to leave what we can at the door and focus on our job and focus on these young men in that locker room. And they deserve and need our best every day.
You mentioned limiting NC State's explosives. Hollywood Smothers in particular,
Yeah.
all name team to begin with. But what do you observe from his skill set?
You know, if he's not the best back in the country, he's one of them. And, you know, they're doing a good job of finding different ways and getting him the ball in different ways. And we've got to do a good job of game tackling, getting a lot of bodies around and keeping eyes on him and making sure that we can get him on the ground. He's going to get his yards. That's going to happen. We got to limit the explosiveness off of those, and we got to do a good job of trying to get them behind the chains and put them in adverse situations. But that starts on first down and second down, especially with him. And you know, he's a definite weapon and a definite guy we've got to really put our eyes on and focus on getting on the ground.
Right side, David Cunningham. What stands out to you about C.J. Bailey, the NC State quarterback, and just what he brings to the table, his skill set?
Yeah, you know, CJ, I think, has really improved. You know, he's athletic, he's long, he can do all these things. He's got a big arm, gets out of the pocket, he can be explosive. That being said, we've got to do a good job of giving him some different looks, trying to give him an opportunity to not be able to just throw to his first target, make him get through his progressions, maybe try to get him off the spot when we have the opportunity to do that. And you can't let him just sit back there and take a deep shot. They've got really good skill guys on the outside with their receivers. Obviously, they've got one of the more dynamic backs in the country, so you've got to play the give and take in that part of it. But he has vastly improved, and we've got to continue to try to get him off his spot and make him start moving around, not in the sense of just letting him run, but making him move within the pocket and being in our rush lanes while we can get hands on him and get him on the ground and try to frustrate him a little.
Kyron Jones had maybe a tough start to the year, had a get-right game against Wofford. Have you seen anything out of him confidence-wise since Saturday?
You know, the one thing that I can tell you about Kyron didn't lose his confidence at all throughout any of what we considered tougher games or not, right? He's confident. He's continuing to be in the moment, be where his feet are. I'm trying to get better. He's trying to get better. The offensive line's trying to get better. The receiver's trying to get better. The D-line's trying to get better. We're all trying to get better together. And so I think Saturday he played a really good game. I thought he stayed within himself, stayed within the offense, took what they gave him. He was very efficient in that way, ran the ball when we asked him to. He's a weapon on both sides of that. He's got to continue to do that for us. And he wants to get better each and every week. And he's in the film room. He's up here tons of hours throughout the week. And he's staying motivated in that sense.
Caleb Spencer and Jordan Bass both made their first starts.
Mm-hmm.
How would you, after watching film, how would you assess how they performed?
Yeah, I thought Caleb really played lights out. I thought he had a really good game. He is really developing into that, linebacker spot with, some of the different movements and things like that. But I think he's feeling more at home there, which is allowing him to play faster. I thought he played extremely well on Saturday. Same thing with Jordan. He's a long guy. He's physical. There's some things that we still want to coach up and still want to get better at. But love what he's bringing to the table, love the energy that he's bringing it with. And, he's just so eager to learn. Both of those guys are. So we got to continue to keep going with them.
I guess with uncertainty at both linebacker and safety position, depending on what depth you have there, was it encouraging to see them get those types of reps against Wofford and get some film and get a sense of what they need to do if they need to be given more snaps?
Yeah, anytime we can get those guys in the game and give them opportunities, and those guys have earned the opportunity to get in there. So you're still going to see a lot of them. We're going to have to count on a lot of our young players, and as we continue to keep growing and moving, whether that's with injuries or other things. And so, those guys stepping in, playing well, and being locked in during meetings and continuing to grow, you see a lot of growth out of those each and every week because of the amount of reps that they're getting.
Oh, what stands out about NC State's defense to you?
Yeah, I think their defensive line is very physical. When you talk about Stone, I know he got banged up a little bit in the Duke game. I think Dave came out and said it looked like he was trending to be fine and healthy, but Duke plays with a lot of energy. Like, he is reckless in the way that he plays under the fundamentals of their defense, but he's a guy you got to know where he's at. 44 is a really strong interior piece, got quickness to him. So I think their D-line, 54 is really, really good off the other side of it. And so those guys have been playing really well. Their linebackers do a great job inside as far as fitting things up. We got to do a good job of trying to give them a little bit of eye candy, see if we can get them looking in the wrong direction, see if we can play on the edges a little bit and how we want to attack them. In the secondary, I think they've got a lot of talented guys that can run back there. We've got to do a good job of creating some matchups for ourselves and finding opportunities to be able to either get the ball outside, get it underneath, or push the ball down the field and create some one-on-one matchups that I think we, got a chance to go take advantage of.
How do you feel about your team's collective unity?
Honestly, these guys, the way they've come together, and we've got really, really great leadership within this group. Our leadership counselor, our captains, they've done a tremendous job over the course of the year, but especially in the last week. I think our guys are getting even more welded together, and that's what we got to have. With everything that we've gone through, with everything that we're going through, it's about all of us being all in, locking arms, and attacking this thing in the way we can.
Any update in terms of the status of Tyrion Stewart?
At this point, he's trending in a positive direction, so we'll find out more today when we hit the practice field.
We'll go Andy and then David, and then we'll go to Zoom for a couple.
Did another week help much with the O-line's health? I know that's been a spot banged up.
To that same point, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think we got guys trending in the right way. We're going to find out a whole lot more today when we hit the practice field, and we'll see how they handle that and then come off of that, right? Like, yeah, you did pretty good in practice. How did we feel the next day? And so we'll learn a lot more today after practice.
A lot of freshmen got their first action or
Yep.
first extended action that last game. Anybody do anything that make you guys open your eyes as staff and go, maybe these guys could help us this year?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of guys that actually stepped in and did some really good things. Don't want to single one out over another, but, we as a staff, as we looked at the guys, especially some of those guys in the secondary with the way they stepped up and made some plays, thought they really fitted some things very well, came in and played physical, were sound and fundamentally sound in what they were doing. So those guys are going to get more and more action and more opportunities just like everybody else. But we were really, really pleased with the freshmen and what they did coming in.
Unpleasant circumstances duly noted, but is head coaching like riding a bike? That you can pick it back up right away, or was there some adjustment period for Phil Montgomery? How did it all that?
There's a little bit of both of that in there. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to do this before, so I can fall back on some of my experiences there. But this is a unique situation in itself. But I will tell you, the players and the staff have been tremendous, and they've been such a help through all of that. And we still got to keep leaning on each other. There was, when you think about the game and all of that, getting back on the field, calling plays from the field with all the other duties, kind
We're
of.
upstairs, right?
I was upstairs. Now being down last week, there's a different variable to all of that, and but I thought we handled it well, and we'll continue to keep growing from that.
Let's take a couple on Zoom.
On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature to ask questions for Coach Montgomery, and we'll open it to a couple questions. We'll start with Steve, please.
Coach, a little more on the offensive line. Was there any general piece of improvement as a group that you saw this week from that revamp set that you have of players? And what going forward would you like to see as the next step if these guys have to do as many plays this following week?
Yeah, I thought those guys, they're improving each and every week. We've still got a lot of room for growth there. But that being said, it's not about the mindset or the effort or any of those things. They're bringing that stuff to the table. Some of it is just youth and continuing to grow in that way, getting stronger, getting more confident, and not being hesitant about things. And so I think we're making improvements there. Hopefully we get some of the older guys back, but those young guys are stepping up and doing better. We got to continue to keep improving, especially in our pass protection side of it. I think we're doing better in the run side of it right now with them, but some of the pass protection parts of it, we got to continue to keep cleaning up and getting better.
Thank you.
We'll go to Ryan next, please.
Coach, when we talked to Benji back in fall camp, he said one of the most important things that you were preaching, that the offense was preaching, was building an identity, establishing an identity. You're now a third of the way through the season, coming off the offense's most productive day. How do you feel? How close do you feel the offense is to achieving that identity?
I think we're getting really close. I think we're finding what we do best. I will tell you, with the injuries that we've had, obviously that kind of plays into that role. That being said, I think we know what we need to hang our hat on, how we need to attack now. It's about continuing to grow in those fashions, but also make sure that we are staying balanced in what we do, finding opportunities for guys to be involved and to affect the game. And so it's going to be an ongoing process, but I think we are much, much further along than what you think. And I think we found some good things throughout. We got to continue to keep building on those.
Any final questions for Coach Montgomery on Zoom? Okay, Travis.
All right, two quick ones in the room. We'll go with David Cunningham and then Andy.
What have you seen from a guy like Cody Heisman and just his motor and the way he's played so far this season?
Yeah, you know, Cody brings a ton of energy, ton of experience too. He plays recklessly in the fundamentals of the defense. You know, his hair's always on fire. He's looking for advantages and edges and things that he can go attack. And so he's been a great player for us up to this point. His role just continues to grow. He's very solid in what he does, but he's dynamic in other ways. And so he's been absolutely fantastic. We need him to continue to keep playing well, just like the rest of our defensive line has.
Kamari Copeland showed the range of his talents in that game. And I'm curious, as an offensive play caller, you had to factor for him in preparing in practice and things like that. What's that like when there's a guy like that at the tackle spot, specifically on the other side of the ball?
You know, really in all of those D linemen, but especially with Copeland, like, he is so fast and he's so strong, and you know, he can be so disruptive. He can blow up an offensive run play or pass play in the matter of a heartbeat. So, you know, he puts a lot of pressure on us up front. We've dealt with it throughout the spring and throughout the summer and throughout fall camp. So he's a guy I'm glad that's on our football team. He just continues to come to work every day. He's very motivated. He's very self-driven, and I'm glad he's on our team and not somebody else's.
All right, one more. Last one, Dave, to you.
I should have looked this up earlier. I apologize that I didn't. Do you have any competitive history against Dave Doran?
Dave and I have not played each other up to this point. Dave and I have known each other for a long time, but we have not locked horns in that way. So I know, like, his DC DJ, I interviewed DJ one time for a defensive coordinator spot with me when I was at Tulsa, so I know him a little bit too. He does a great job, and got a lot of respect for both of those guys.
Thanks, Coach Montgomery.
All right. Appreciate y'all.